Hi friends, welcome to my channel Plants and Birds. Friends, up to now we have studied about the role of water, nutrients and plant growth regulators in plant growth and development. In this video we will learn about how after giving all this important constituent to the plant, how growth and development occurs in plant. By seeing what is growth and what is development, how growth is different from development, growth characteristics, features of plant growth, phases in plant growth, that is known as grand period of growth, and what are the factors that affect growth. Okay, what is meant by plant development, differentiation process and its types, and photoperiodism in detail. Firstly, what is growth? Growth is irreversible outcome of cell division, that is enlargement of new cells and their differentiation into different types of tissues. Okay, nothing but irreversible outcome, which is irreversible, not it can be there is no change in after increasing size, there is no change, it will not change to a small size. Irreversible outcome of cell division, enlargement of new cells, only new cells will take place this process, and their differentiation into different types of tissues. Okay, this process of growth is accompanied by two important operations, that is permanent change in size. As I told, there is no again irreversible, it is a permanent change. It is a permanent change, it is not reversible. And increase in the derivative of the growth parts. There is only increase if the plant is shown the increase in growth, means that is increase in dry weight. If there is an increase in dry weight, means it is there will be increase in growth. Okay, the dry mass is commonly obtained by drying and the fresh harvested plant material. How to check the dry weight? See, this is important to be noted here. The dry mass is commonly obtained by drying the freshly harvested plant material for 24 to 48 hours at 70 degrees to 80 degrees Celsius till it get constant weight. There must be a constant weight. There is not fluctuating the weight. To get the dry mass is commonly obtained by drying the freshly harvested plant material for 24 to 48 hours at 70 degrees to 80 degrees at 70 degrees to 80 degrees Celsius till it get constant weight. This is very important to be noted. How to get a dry weight of the plant. Next, what is development? The sum of all changes that an organism undergoes through its life cycle, from seed germination and through growth, maturing, flowering and senescence. From seed germination and through growth, maturing, flowering and senescence. This all in under development. The sum of all changes that an organism undergoes through its life cycle. Okay. This is about the development. Next, what is growth and how growth is differ from development? Growth is quantitative, but development is qualitative. How it is developed? Growth is how much, how the quality is developed, how the inflorescence, all this skin, how the senescence occur. All this come under development. That is qualitative. And quantity is growth. How much quantity of dry weight occurred? It is quantitative. Okay. Number, size, volume increases here. In growth, number increases, volume increases, size increases. But here, emergence of specialized body parts is seen, like flower primordium, and senescence, and what birds, all can be seen under development. Okay, this is the difference between growth and development. Next, characteristics of growth. What are the main characteristics of growth? This means characteristics of growth means if this occurs, that is a growth. It's mean, okay, that is cellular growth, cell will grow and cell division will occur. The divided cells will be expand, and expanded cells will differentiate into different tissues. Okay, the group of cells undergo one tissue. Okay, group of cells undergo stem, a group of cells undergo leaf. That is known as cellular differentiation. Next, this is the picture of how root, shoot and stem. See, in shoot there will be a seminal bud contains the shoot typical meristem. Which is the main for growth, as I told. Okay, next, in lateral it will be there xylem and phloem. Cambium will be present. Okay, vascular cambium will be present, which protects the vascular system. And next again come to root cap. There will be a root cap, root apical meristems will be present, which will help for growth of the plant. Next, what are the features of plant growth? Okay, growth is plants restricted to certain zones containing cells recently produced by cell division in a meristem. Okay, growth will not occur in every part. but it is restricted to certain zones, that is containing recently produced cells recently produced by cell division in a meristems, which meristems only have the role to have a growth very at high rate than other, that is growth in plants is restricted to certain zones only. Okay, next, root and shoot tips apices have meristems. The root, as I told, root and shoot tips only will contain meristem. Okay. The root and shoot apical meristem are formed during embryo development. Well, the seed forms. Well, the seeds forms, then only it will form root and shoot apical meristems, and are called primary meristems. Okay, these are known as primary meristems. The vascular cambium and the meristematic zones of monocot nodes and grass leaves are indistinguishable. That cannot be distinguishable until after germination. Only after germination you can distinguish them into shoot and vascular cambium and meristematic zones. Okay, that until seed they are known as secondary meristems. Okay, secondary meristems is the characteristics of monocot nodes and leaves. Okay, primary meristems can be seen in dicot mainly. Okay, it determinates structure of plant grows to certain size and then stops, eventually undergoes senescence and death. This is known as determinate. This is important to be noted here. A determinate structure means of plants grow to certain size and then stops. It will stop there and eventually undergoes senescence and death. Okay, this is known as determinate structures. Example, leaves, they will grow to certain size and die. Okay, and there will be a stop of growth and then it will die. Okay, leaves, flowers, fruits come under this determinate structure. Indeterminate structure of plants grow by meristems that continuously replenish themselves, remain youthful. Okay, they will continually replace themselves. Okay, the meristem will produce new cells that will grow, that will be undergo cell division and undergo the growth and development and placed in a differentiation will occur and that cells will undergo into any other tissues and again new cells. This is known as indeterminate structures. They will not die, they will produce itself, that is meristems, the vegetative stem and root. Okay, they will not die but replenish themselves. Okay, although indeterminate structures can be killed, we can kill them by cutting the meristems, by cutting the apical root, you can kill, but it is potentially immortal. If you don't remove them, it will grow on, takes on growth until, but death is ultimate fate of determinate structures. See, determinate structures conformly they will die without any doubt. Leaves, flowers and fruits, they will not live for years and years. They will die immediately after its phase. Okay. Next, when an indeterminate structure, indeterminate means which will not die, vegetative meristems and become reproductive, it become determinate. This is very important to be noted here is when indeterminate structures like meristems undergoes vegetative meristems, that is and become reproduction will started means then it will become immediately it will turn into the determinate structures and they will also die. This is important to be noted. Vegetative meristems when undergo become reproductive, it becomes determinate. Next, monocarpic species flower once and die. Okay, many annuals are the monocarpic species. The best example is bamboo. It will flower once and die itself. Okay, this is a monocarpic species. Polycarpic, flower returns to vegetative mode. Flower once. Many of the plants we will see in our surroundings are polycarpic. Okay, flower many trees. Example are many trees. Mayflower, all these trees. Okay, flowering returns to vegetative mode. After flowering, they will return to the vegetative mode and it will grow vegetatively and again return to the reproductive. This cycle occurs. Woody perennials, shrubs and trees all polycarpic species. Biennials like beet, that is Beta vulgaris, and carrot Duscus carota, and henbane germinate in spring and spend its first season as the vegetative rosette of leaves, then die back in late fall, such plants overwinters by protecting apical meristem by some remaining protective dead leaves. Apical meristems can be protected by dead leaves. Okay, what are the leaves are dead means then it is overwinters by some remaining protective dead leaves. Meristem plus leaves in the called meristem plus dead leaves, that what leaves are present, that is called perinating bud. Okay, perinating bud is important to be noted under biannuals, that is beta and carrot. There is one week that what vegetables we will eat that. Okay, beet and carrot, when winter comes it will die. Okay, the leaves will be die, but apical to protect the apical meristem, that meristem plus that what the dead leaves are present, it is called perinating bud. During the second summer, the apical meristem forms stem-like stem cells that elongate bolt into the flowering stage, flowering stalk. Now the leaves are dead, that what the apical meristem present, it forms a stem cells. It forms the stem cells and elongate and gives rise to flowering stalk. Okay, for reproduction. Next, the century plant Aegaeus america may exist for a decade or more and more before flowering once and die. Okay, through monocarpic species it could be called perennials because it lives more than one growing season. Though it is a monocarpic species, but it grown more than one growing season, it is known as perennial. Okay, bamboo. Okay, barusa and other genera which may live more than half century before flowering once and die. Okay, this is also more monocarpic only, but it will flower it will remain more than one season, so it is also a perennial. Therefore, century plant and bamboos are excellent examples for extreme monocarpic growth habit. Extreme monocarpic growth habit. Therefore, century plant and bamboos are excellent examples for extreme monocarpic growth habit. Extreme monocarpic growth habit. Okay. Next, polycarpic plants. These are perennials by definition do not convert all their vegetative meristems into determinate reproductive structures. This is called polycarpic. Woody perennials may use only some of their axillary buds for formation of flowers, keeping terminal buds vegetative. Alternatively, terminal buds may form flowers while axillary buds remain vegetative. Okay, these are woody perennials' role, how they will maintain their growth. Sometimes a single meristem forms only one flower. Okay, single meristem will form a flower, only one flower, as in tulip. Tulip is an example for single meristem, which is formed by single meristem. Whereas single grass or Asteraceae single grass or Asteraceae meristems forms an inflorescence on head of flowers. Meristems forms an inflorescence or head of flowers, as in sunflower, bottlebrush, caliform. Okay, meristem will form head of flowers, but in some species like tulip, it will form only one flower. Meristem, a single meristem. Next, grand period of growth. How the growth is occurred in it can be seen in some different phases. Okay, that is known as grand period of growth. Now, under unfavorable conditions, there is a characteristic increase in the plant's growing parts. Growth is slow at first lag phase and then gains speed, log phase, and eventually slow down, decreasing growth rate to come to the halt, that is steady state. Okay, these are the phases occurring in the growth. See, when the plant is planted, it will grow up to some time very slow. Okay, and again it will grow vigorously, and after reproductive structures occur, then it will decrease their growth speed and it come under the steady state. Okay, this is done under growth state. This is about the growth grand period. Okay, role. The total time during which the course of growth takes place is called grand period of growth. Okay, the total time during which, okay, what is the time, how much time it will taken, lag phase, log phase, and steady state, this all combined it will known as grand period of growth, the total time during which the course of growth occurs. Okay, if this growth is plotted against time, a S-shaped, okay, or S-shaped curve is obtained, which is called sigmoid curve or grand period curve, which is sigmoid shape, okay, or S-shaped. This is the grand period curve. Okay, See, first it is a log phase, and it will undergo first lag phase. Okay, lag phase means where is growth is lagged. Okay, lag phase, and then log, that is exponentially, it will grow exponentially without any stop, and then undergo stationary diminishing growth phase, that is very, there will be a decrease in growth, and then undergo stationary, which is go steady state. Okay, this is about the growth period or grand period of growth. Okay, next continuation, the sigmoid curve represents the integrated sum of curves for each growing organ and cell, and represents the changing size of the plants. Sigmoid curve represents integration of sum of the curves for each growing organ. Each growing organ, there will be curves. That integration will form this sigmoid curve. Similarly, when dry weight is measured as an index of growth before maturity, the curve takes the sigmoid form. Okay, the sigmoid form of curve can be also seen in when the dry weight is measured as an index of growth before maturity. Before it growth plant matured, when the dry weight is measured as an index of growth, then the curve also takes a sigmoid form. Environmental condition may alter growth rates, but not a sigmoid form of the growth curve. This is very, very important to be noted. Okay, if environmental conditions you change, then growth is stopped. But in lag, it is, if it is present on the log phase also, it will growth is stopped, but it does not alter the with the environmental conditions. Okay, the growth sigmoid curve will form, sigmoid curve does not alter. It will remain as the same as it is. Okay, with the environmental condition, with changing environmental condition. Okay, environmental condition may alter growth rates. Growth rate will be altered. Okay, in log phase, if more winter is present, the growth is stopped, but it does not alter the sigmoid form of the growth curve. This is important to be noted here. Next, what are the factors that affect the growth? Internal factors: resistant to biotic and abiotic stresses, respiration. Okay, how the resistant will be developed in the plant against biotic and abiotic stresses. Respiration, how the respiration will taken. Partition of assimilate and nitrogen, assimilation of nitrogen, partitioning of assimilate and nitrogen. Enzyme activity, how the enzyme activity is going on in plant. Okay, if enzyme activity is slow, then growth is slow. Okay, enzyme capacity to store food resources, how much capacity it has to store its food resources. Okay, it also internal factor. Direct gene effect, that is atrosis. Okay, are the different internal factors, internal growth factors that affect growth. Okay, next, external factors. What are the external factors that affect the growth? That is light, temperature, water, photofeed, and gases. Okay, that is climatic factors. Next, that edaphic, that is soil factors. Texture, structure, organic matter, cation exchange capacity, CEC, pH, nutrient availability. Okay, this nutrient availability will depend on pH mainly. Okay, organic matter, structure, texture, as I told in water management. Okay, in management of water video. In that video, I will explain about this texture, structure, and organic matter. Cation exchange capacity we will discuss in upcoming unit. pH will decide the nutrient, what nutrients must be available to the plants. Okay, neutral pH is very good for growth of the plants. Biological factors. What are the biological factors that affect the growth? Weeds. If weeds are more, competition of weeds will be more, then growth is retarded. And insects. Okay, pests. Okay, and diseases. Okay, pests and diseases, and nematodes and soil microorganisms. If soil microorganisms more means, then organic matter will be produced, will be more, then growth will be more. If there are less means, the growth will be less. Okay, this is the biological factors. Next, plant geometry constraints. What is a plant geometry? It will have certain geometry. Okay, every plant has certain geometry. We will discuss about it. Relation between growth rate of individual parts of an organ or organism is called a allometry. Relation between growth rate of individual parts of an organism. Okay, that is known as allometry. That allometry defines how the shape will be comes. K is a coefficient of allometry. If length and breadth of the leaf expand at the same rate, K is equal to 1. This is going to be remembered might. Shoot root ratio also depends how the allometric growth will be occur. Type of allometric growth, it reflects one type of tolerance to drought stress. As I told, that abscisic acid will promote the root growth under the drought condition because of water, to reach the roots to the where water is present. That is important to be noted here. That also decides the what is the allometry of the plant. Apical and lateral growths. Plant assume a characteristic form of geometry mainly due to apical and lateral bud development. See, apical means it will go upwards, and lateral buds means sides, which will give characteristic shape. This is known as apical and lateral growth. Okay, vegetative and reproductive growth. In annuals, vegetative growth is generally terminated by reproduction. In annuals, okay. In perennials, make only partial commencement of nutrients, carbon and minerals to reproduction, and new vegetative shoots arises from axillary buds. From axillary buds, new shoots will arise. That is where vegetative growth is occurring. But terminal buds will producing this what reproduction. That is which reproductive parts, which it will do partial commitment of nutrients, carbon and minerals to reproduction, and another to new vegetative shoots that arise from axillary buds. Okay, this is about the way. This also decides how the growth of the plant will be occur. Then terminal bud will be terminated. It will be, there is no growth on the terminal, but apical buds will grow, which will give some different characteristic shape. Okay, this is about the vegetative and reproductive growth effects of the plant geometry. Next, plant development is a combination of complex processes of growth and differentiation that leads to accumulation of dry matter. When the accumulation of dry matter occurs, then plant development occurs. Differentiation process has three requisites: available assimilate in excess of most metabolic uses, how much it is available, assimilate how much it will, nitrogen, other nutrients, how much it is available assimilate of nutrients, you will take that. Okay, next, a favorable temperature. A plant must be grown means it must have favorable. If the temperature is too low, then the growth is retarded. Okay, undergo dormancy, and if too high, it will die. Okay, so that a favorable temperature must be proper. A proper enzyme system with cell wall thickening and secondary product accumulation must be done. Secondary product accumulation means alkaloids and starches must be accumulated to form a structure. No? Okay, so that secondary product accumulation, proper enzyme system with cell wall thickening. Cell wall must be thick. If growth is occurring, if cell wall is thin, then it will be cracking of the leaves will occur. Cracking of that organ will occur. So the cell wall of thickening with proper enzyme system and secondary product accumulation to growth in size and protoplasm hardening may occur, lead to change in anatomy and morphology. How the morphology and anatomy will be changed of the leaf, how it is grown. See, this is the main thing to be remembered. Okay, first cell wall thickening must occur, then undergoes secondary product accumulation, that is alkaloids and starches will accumulate in that leaf, and protoplasm hardening will occur, that which turn into hard and may lead to change in anatomy. Okay, then anatomy will change, that leaf shape, okay, and morphology will be changed. This is about the differentiation process. These are very, very important to be remember, that differentiation is occurred by three requisites. These are important to be noted. What is the available nutrients in excess of most metabolic uses? Okay, for it must be present in more excess only. For building new organs, it is present in excess. Otherwise, if it present in adequate only small quantities, then how can it can make new organs? Okay, a favorable temperature must present. Proper enzyme system with cell wall thickening, secondary product accumulation must done, and that is secondary products are examples are alkaloids and starches must be accumulated, and then protoplasm, that what accumulation occurred, that must be hardened. Okay, inside that water, the other minerals and other, what are the sap, that must be hardened. Okay, hardened may occur, leads to change in anatomy and morphology. Next, what is differentiation, de-differentiation, redifferentiation? We will say types of differentiation. These are cellular differentiation is the process by which a less specialized cell become a more specialized cell type. Okay, the cell is less specialized, but it does not growing, but after some time it will become a more specialized, it will growing very nice, that is known. Cell derived from meristems and cambium differentiated and matured to perform specific function which is termed as differentiation. Cell divided from meristem and cambium differentiate, it will differentiate and mature to perform specific functions. Differentiation means the cell is formed, okay, derived from meristems, it will divide, cell division will occur. That divided cells will undergo differentiation, means that is placing moving to the different tissues, forming of different tissues will occur to perform specific functions which is termed as differentiation. Okay, like phloem xylem formation, xylem formation, okay, cell wall formation, okay, root wall formation, okay, lateral root formation, like that will see to perform a specific function. Okay, lateral root formation means it absorb water. Okay, cell wall protect the plant, protection of the plants from, okay, abiotic and biotic stresses. Xylem means water transport and phloem means food transport. These are different functions are performed. This process is known as differentiation. Okay, when the cell is formed from the meristem, it will divide and undergoes differentiation, that is, okay, forming different tissues, okay, for different function, to perform different functions, specific functions, to perform specific function. Xylem is formed means it will perform a specific function, that is water transport of water, okay, giving of water. Phloem means giving of food, and lateral roots means giving of water, absorption of water. See, the specific function will be performed by specific tissues. Okay, this is about the differentiation. Next, what is meant by differentiation? Okay, and continue. Cell undergo structural change during differentiation. Changes takes place in their cell walls and protoplasm. Okay, as I told, cell wall changes will be takes place in cell walls and protoplasm. Example, cell loses their protoplasm during the formation of tertiary elements. Okay, when the tertiary elements are forming, then the cell loses protoplasm to form a tertiary elements. Okay, for its rigidity. Okay, plants develop a strong elastic lignocellulosic secondary cell walls to carry water to long distance even under extreme tension. Okay, if extreme tension is present, then a strong elastic lignocellulosic secondary cell walls are formed by losing of protoplasm all and becoming a sticky, and for to carry water to long distance, it must carry from down to up to 1 meter of height, more than 1 meter of height it must be carried, means the plant cell wall must be strong and elastic. Okay, this is the role of differentiation. Next, what is de-differentiation? Now we will see. Is important biological phenomena whereby a cell regresses from the specialized function to a simpler rate. Cell regress from a specialized function to a simpler state reminiscent of stem cells. Yeah. An undividable differentiated cell sometimes regains the power to division. See, a undivisible differentiated, already it is differentiated cell, sometimes regain its power to divide. That means when the differentiated cell undergoes in the it will lead to formation of xylem. Okay, it will lose its differentiation power, okay, division power. Then if okay, that cell regains its power of division, this process is known as de-differentiation. Again, it undergoes differentiation, that is called de-differentiation. De-differentiation is common process in plants during secondary growth and in wound healing mechanisms. Okay, when the xylem is damaged, then this de-differentiation is occurred. Okay, wound healing process and secondary growth. When the secondary growth is occurred, means then it will be very useful, de-differentiation. Okay, this is very important to be noted during secondary growth and wound healing mechanism. Okay, it is very helpful, common process. De-differentiation. Next, redifferentiation. What is meant by redifferentiation? A de-differentiated cell can divide, produce new cells. Okay, the de-differentiated cells now for making that water, yeah, to yield the take xylem as at some damage, for that making that damage, okay, clear, it will undergo de-differentiation. That is, again it regain its power to differentiate, and cell power to division, and that cells will be divided and can divide and produce new cells. Now it will produce new cells. That new cells produced again lost its power, okay, of division and become a part of permanent tissue, which is called redifferentiation. Only very simple. It is very important to be noted these three processes. What is differentiation, what is de-differentiation and redifferentiation? I think you know, understand. Okay, first differentiation means formation of a xylem. You take only one and you can understand it. Xylem is formed now. Now it is damaged by any insect or other diseases. Now to overcome the damage, the cell undergo de-differentiation. That is, the regain of power to cell to divide. Okay, that to cover to patch that damage and divide, and it form the, okay, now it will repair that patch. Now that new cells produced, during the de-differentiation, the new cells are produced to repair that injury. Now this new cells produced must lose their will lost the power of division now and became a part of permanent. Okay, we will the first tissue and the second tissue, the first formed, the cells formed in the differentiation will combine with cells formed in the de-differentiation. Both will be same in nature now. Okay, become a part of permanent tissue, which is called redifferentiation. If redifferentiation not occur, means the cell will go on increasing. It will leads to tumor. Okay, tumor like formations and other. So that these three processes are important in formation of tumor cells will occur. See, this is an example of redifferentiation. New producer cells again lost the power of division and become a part of permanent tissue, which is called redifferentiation. Example, if they not occur, means formation of tumor cells will be occur. Tumor cells will form. Okay, this is also an example. Next, this is how the plant is germinate. Okay, hypocotyl, epicotyl is important to be noted here. Is epicotyl, epi means which the, okay, how I will want the stem above the ground level, it is known as epicotyl. The stem below the ground level is called hypocotyl, and the root is different from root development, not up from after root. About what the root present in the ground, it is known as epicotyl. Okay, soil line, okay, seed coat, epicotyl hook. Okay, this is how the plant is will germinate. Okay, next, leaf, node, internode, bud. These all the main upper parts. Okay, no apical bud, apical meristem will not come. Okay, see, leaf, node, internode, and bud. This combinedly form phytomere. What is meant by phytomere? The combination of leaf, node, internode, and bud is known as phytomere. Okay, the combination of different plant parts, that is leaf, node, internode, bud, is known as phytomere. Next, photoperiodism. Lastly, the photomeria. It is a response of plants to periods of day and night. Okay, how the plant will respond to day and night. Okay, some plants require periodic exposure to light to induce flowering. Okay, some plants require more than the present light. Okay, that is 12 hours or how much it is, 10 to 12 hours light will be present due to sunlight. More than that will be required for to flower, to induce flower. Duration of dark period is equally important for flowering. Okay, the duration of dark period also equally important. Long day plants, you must remember these plants. Long day plants require exposure of light for a period of exceeding critical duration to induce flower. Okay, that means long day plants means you require more than the present. Okay, present light. Okay, daylight, what is the present, more than that will be required to, that is more than 12 hours of light is required to, okay, daylight is required to induce flowering. Okay, what is even then shorter plants which require less than present light. Okay, more 10 hours if light is okay, sunlight is present means then it must be less. Okay, it requires more less than that period. Okay, so that there must be grown in polyhouses to stabilize this. Less than critical period to induce flowering, that is less than 12 hours it will require. Long day, more than 12 hours of light. Less than 12 hours of light is day neutral plants. Here plants where there is no correlation between exposure of light. How it will be if more day or more night, okay, more day or more night length, more day length, it does not matter. Day neutral plants, these are called day neutral plants. Okay, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for getting notification of my video. Thank you friends, bye.